Peace. I'm gonna read something because I was watching this video last night and it had me really thinking. But I'm gonna read something called Primal Love. It's through love that we pursue our most primal needs. The need to belong, the need for security, the need for home, for sensual desires, the search for purpose and pleasure. All our reasons to exist live there. Love is the pure elemental energy of life. Let's find this one.
This is what you were listening to last night before we went to bed in the meditation?
That, like, them. You remember those two ladies that was talking?
Yes.
And
I was reading my article. Yeah, but yeah, I was listening. Okay, yeah.
And they was talking about how feminist ideas teach women to go against their nature. And the longer that women sit outside of their nature, they ultimately come to a realization that their relationship building, their family, and their children are the most important aspect to their life. To women in relationships with children, with husbands, with households, still can't find the value in that. They even feel it disrespectful. Oh, I'm just a mama. I'm just your wife. I'm second fiddle. You know, as opposed to being a star in that. Now, it's not to say, like, I can cook, I can clean, I can do everything like that type of stuff. So it's not cooking and cleaning.
It's the emotional and the being present part.
It's about valuing your family, valuing the love that a person has for you. Because generally, it's easy to dismiss love from a man. What am I talking about?
So, wait, quick question though. Does this come before or after the kids?
What?
This feeling, not this feeling, but, well, yeah, this sense of not valuing the relationship, not valuing the family. Does this,
it can come before,
or it just depends on
the person.
Because like, as you were saying, it's like, if you're talking about people with children, it's like postpartum, that emotion, that not emotion, but the chemical difference can cause a lot of that if it goes unchecked.
Right. But then again, it's also like, if you're the type of person that want to get back to work, like, say for instance you have a baby and now you got to get back to work,
you hop right back in that.
Then postpartum get to, like, kind of go crazy with you for real, because you never can check, because you never went into the relationship, into pregnancy with the concept of, let's just remove modern world off of it. Let's just imagine you don't have a job, right? But you have a child. And before the job, you had to pour into your child constantly, 24 hours a day. He needed that symbiosis. He needed that. Let's even go further. Your child don't exist, right? But in order for your child to exist, he needs your blood, your menstruation. So for 9 months, now exceptions to the rule, remove them. Do you have a period? I don't know what he talked about. He said something at the first one.
That's interesting.
Mm-hmm. So, now, but I was asking you, do you have periods while you are pregnant?
Nope.
What's happening while you're pregnant? Don't think deep about it. Just regular basic.
Growing a baby.
Okay. And you're not having
A cycle. Correct.
because that now logic then says that the cycle is then going to the baby.
Right, yeah. Everything that you are goes to creating and cultivating that baby. Not creating, but cultivating that baby.
Nurturing and providing the space for that baby to grow. Right? Now, what would be a proper energy to help that process grow? Love or stress?
You said what that would help it grow?
Yes. Like, what would be the more healthier
Love.
energy?
Love.
So, would you get love from your relationship, or would you get love from your job?
Your relationship.
So, what would be the mindset before even having sex with a male partner to make sure that
You value your relationship and value that person.
yes? Why? Because you're going through a situation where you're not with you. I'm with you. You
Right.
really don't be existing for real. Like the Chauncey that I know, that I love, be gone somewhere else. It's like,
Okay. Wow. Okay.
so you're gone because you're in the child. Your blood, your menses, right? But if I was a person that didn't have awareness, I would then unvalidate our experience. Like, well, you just a crazy bitch. I'm just about to stop fucking with you.
Yeah.
You weird. Because you ain't the same person that I once knew. But then I'm understanding that this is a very traumatic experience. Even when we go through everything that we go through, I be the one to say, well, maybe you just had a baby, so it's just probably one of them type of things where you restoring yourself. And that restoration, if not fully understood, can be very traumatic and hard on you.
Yeah.
So my thing, you could ask any of my kids, what's my dad's favorite word? What's my dad's favorite word?
I love you.
Love. Just love, period.
Yep.
The reason that I say that is because that's the pure elemental force energy that I exist on. That's my gasoline. That's my fuel. That's my deeper core truth is love. But it's a dark side to love. It's a dark side to relationships. Not being loved back. And I think as I'm going through like this dark moon phase, I'm able to understand relationships. I'm understand love. I'm able to understand the need, how to kind of incept it. 'Cause when you making love, you gotta be able to speak intentions into each other. You gotta be a clear channel for source. And you might be wanting to say, oh, this pussy feels so good. Oh, this sex feels so good. Oh, you hitting that spot. But what we need to begin to do is start saying what our soul says. Because the most spiritual time, the most spiritual practice is sex. But if we are in a lascivious mind state, if we are in a lower mind state, or we're focused on pleasure, we're taking ourselves out of what spirituality is. So generally, you might feel, and I'll be the one to tell you, no matter what you do in your spiritual journey, if it doesn't manifest into a partnership, you might feel somewhat slighted and might have to reincarnate back here again. Because the overall joy, the overall purpose is love. Now, love takes effort. Love is a very strong and powerful thing that you just don't walk into. It don't just happen magnanimously. It don't happen because you feel like you're a special person, that you deserve love. Love is an intention. What I mean by love is an intention. Love is a concept that you have to uphold even when you're not getting that love in return. You have to tap into your primal urge to love. And you might love as a man, you might love a woman indefinitely, infinitely, and hold that space. She might wake up and love you one day. And I know that sounds crazy, but what I'm talking about is loving as an intention, not as a reaction. I don't wait for a person to hit certain points, certain value points, certain triggers, and then say, oh, now I love you. If you know me, I will easily say, I love this person. I don't really know why yet. I'm here to figure out why I love this person, but the love is already there. It's already in my heart. I already can recognize the love that I have for this person. And the natural response is, that love is for me, my nigga. Don't give that love to anybody else. I invested in that, you understand? But generally, you invested in me, but my stock has risen. So sometimes in relationships, we don't really understand it. But no matter what happened between us, the pure, elemental, primary focus, days and days of invested time, we fucking had bird feeders and, took walks in the park, walks on the beach, saw sunrises, sunsets, traveled the country, raised our children. We have rooted ourselves in the experience of love. So if you do this as a man, you gotta always keep that same spirit, because that spirit is a present spirit that, you're not going to be able to live off of anything that you do. So you might have done more than I've done. Bought your wife $1 million palace. You know what I'm saying? Took care of her every need and desire. Today, you have to keep that same energy, because we understand that love is an intention. It's not a reaction. You generally don't want to say, oh, well, I'm going to cut the love off now because you're then doing the thing that I don't want you to do. That is going to ruin the relationship, because generally that is going to happen eventually. If you're a woman and you date a man that has love in his heart, he's going to want to love another woman. If you get into a relationship with a man and say, I want him to love me and only me, That's being unrealistic. That's like saying I want a baby that doesn't cry. That's like saying I want a girl that doesn't wear makeup. Of course, you might say my baby don't cry, and of course you'll say I don't wear makeup. But generally, when you will get a man that will love you and only you. But men in general, men as a concept, men as a species, only when they have hearts. Not soulless individuals, mindless drones. Men who have pure elemental love energy. Women who have pure elemental love energy. You know what they call women who have pure elemental love energy? They don't call them good girls. They call them hoes. They call them sluts, right? I imagine that within a slut's heart or a hoe's heart, she enjoys the affection and the attention that she's getting when she's getting it. And that's the raw truth of it. However, if we all have pure elemental love energy and the good girl decides, I'm going to wait for Prince Charming because I watched Cinderella and I saw Little Mermaid 50 times growing up, and I'm going to wait for that situation. I'm not going to share my pure elemental love energy with the world. And it doesn't have to be sex. See, an escort makes more money than a doctor, and she has sex less than a woman that's being married, because an escort is providing an experience of pure elemental love energy that is so tangible, that is so real, that is so valid that you literally have to pay for it. You literally can't fuck with her without 4 to 5 figures. Talking top of the line escorts that's out here clocking bank because they recognize their pure elemental love energy and they don't mind sharing it. And if your mind is in your lower pleasure self, then you think that is backseat fucking, when in reality it's the highest level of communicating. It is having a deep relationship with your heart and being able to share it generously. But understanding relationships, see, this is the crux of a hoe versus a good girl. A relationship is a mutual exchange. Okay? A good girl will fucking take over your whole entire life and not give a fuck. Will divorce you, will take more than what she made, and then look at you as if your fault, as if it's your fault. And blame you for everything because she is a good girl when she was 5. She was a good girl when she was 35. She was a good girl when she was 95. She has never been a bad person. Ever. Okay? In her relationships, it was either her way or no way. Her way or go away. And then the hoe. What do y'all know about hoes? When they get tired of hoeing, what do they then do? Get married. They get married. So, this is not to be disrespectful. This is not to be mean. Because you could be a hoe. You could be a good girl. You could be neutral. You could be a lesbian. These are all personal choices. You could be a pick-me. You could be a feminist. You could be holistic. You could be a unicorn. You could be into hentai. You could be into anime. You could be on OnlyFans. You could be on the deacon's list for the church. You could be all these types of different variations on the theme. But I know for a fact, any existential grasping that you're doing outside of yourself is going to pale in comparison to when you grasp upon your heart and tap into your pure elemental love energy. So I'm referencing Mercury Retrograde from an ancient point of view. The channel that I'm receiving is from Pombagira and Ishu of the Kimbanda Pantheon of Brazil. Generally, if you was in Brazil or if you spoke Portuguese and you was in the spiritual community, you be hearing the same message. I don't own this message. And this message is unrelated to any message that you might hear. Because my personal intention was to channel and reach out to Pombagira. Or maybe it was a correspondence where we were reaching out to one another. I just woke up, or I didn't wake up, I went to sleep and said, yeah, it's Pombagira time. I need some new information. But this time, Pombagira showed up with Ishu. And I said, oh yeah, Mercury is retrograde, so we might as well put some respect on his name. And that's Ishu, E-X-U. E-X-U. And then type a Y. Then type P-O-M-B-A, B as in ball, Pamba, Gira, G-I-R-A, G as in girl. And you might see some shit in Portuguese. You might see some shit in Spanish. But we live in 2021, so you get that shit translated. Control T or right click, translate page. Absorb your pure elemental need for love and relationships. Do not fucking deny your need for mutual exchange. It is why you are here. I'll even go better. You were created off mutual exchange. Exceptions to the rule, I know, but for the most of us, your mama and daddy was hot for each other. That was a whole situation. The same situation that you were born for was the same situation of a fucking out call. $150 in call, $200 out call. It's the same situation. The only difference is your mama probably viewed herself as a good girl. Your daddy probably viewed himself as a respectable person. But at the same time, that same situation occurred for a financial amount. I'm not calling your mama a hoe unless you want to be. I don't even know your mama. What I'm saying is, sexual energy is life. But sexual energy can also be demonized. So you can think of sexual energy to be prostitution. So before you're triggered, think about it. Come back. Take a couple deep breaths. Hood done called my mama a hoe. I can't listen to him no more. I don't even know your mama. I love your mama. What's going on? So, if we can understand the root of all things, then we can find a common relationship point in all of our relationships. Like, we can find what we can give for that, because what it is worth. Now, I'm talking about a valuable man in your life. That gotta be worth something. Before you get mad, before you get triggered, okay? Did you come in the Coach store with that energy? Did you come for the Michael Kors store with that energy? Was you on Etsy talking about what you deserve? Was you on Amazon saying, you know what? I feel like I could do better? Or was you just adding shit to cart saying buy now? Or was you going in your pocketbook, pulling out your money? $1,500 for this Louis Vuitton? That's a deal. I think I'll buy it. And here go $100 tip, man, for being so generous and nice to me. And I'll take my purse. So what I'm saying, these lower materialistic things have worth and have value to you, but the primal, elemental love and need for partnership is not of value to you. That's not worth nothing. And am I saying that you have to now pay for men? No. You're getting me all wrong. It's too early. I'm triggering you, and I really don't mean to. All I'm trying to say is that a valuable man is worth something. A relationship, a nurturer, a provider, when you're going through childbirth. And I know these types of things might seem foreign to other people, and they might feel like men don't have this capability. But I'm here to say, as a man, yeah, the fuck we do. Some of us will be with you day in, day out, walking with you hand in hand, left to right, right to left. And you might say, I haven't met no men like that. Ain't no men around here like that. And what I'm asking you to do is to just tap in to the fact of, you got a house, you got a purse, you got a new car, you got new clothes, you got all of these things in life that you had an exchange. Most of the things weren't just handed to us. There was something that we had to give to receive. And what you give in your relationships, I'm only saying this because you're not thinking on this level. Because love is an intention. Love is an action. Love does not hide. Love don't be in the bushes waiting for a particular situation for you to change. This is what I know about people. They don't change. This is what I know about relationships. How you start them is how you end them. So if you're not intending the best for me off the rip, then that's how it's going to end. If you judging me off the rip, that's how it's going to end. This is a hard conversation. This is a large conversation. And this conversation ain't for everybody, because most of y'all got it all figured out on the material plane. But when we start talking about spirituality, when we start talking about love, when we start talking about relationships, take notes. Get you a notebook. And tap into the people that you listen to on the spiritual tip and see how many of them are referencing the relationship as a primary necessity to their overall success and growth and development. But then on the other side, write down all of the time you done took their advice. Write down all of the time that you done jumped through them hoops. Write all of the time that you done joined their webinars, took their courses, got their readings, got their consultations, got their coaches, joined their retreats. Now reference the fact that you just at the same place where you started at, just a lot broker, right? Come to that realization. Come to that realization that, hey, I make mistakes. That's the most powerful conversation that you can have with yourself. I've made mistakes. I've made wrong decisions. I've went the wrong direction. Now, the thing about life and the thing about directions is that they're unceasing. What am I talking about? You can go the wrong direction the whole entire time, and the GPS is not going to say, look, nigga, you going the wrong way. Turn the fuck around. All of the GPS is going to say, turn left. Turn right. Turn left. Make a U-turn. Turn left. Turn right. So if you're going the wrong direction, you might not have a sense that, hey, this is the wrong place that I'm going. I'm talking about your ambitions, your goals, your jobs, your careers, your life, your just overall sense of personal security. Because maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm triggering you. Maybe this hurts. Maybe the fact that you've been going in the wrong direction is going to be a pill too hard to swallow. Maybe the fact that it's going to be a bunch of spiritual people having an opposing message to say, hey, you just need to jump through these fucking hoops and you'll feel better. As opposed to saying, we as a society have to discover and uncover the function of relationships, or we going to suffer. We are going to suffer if we don't learn how to exist together through love, not lust. Love, not lust. Because love is an intention. Love is a softness. Love is a reception. Love is a preparation. Love is a plan. Love is a handling. Love is a commitment. Love is a devotion. Love is a bond. Love exists when the physical world dissipates. I have energy that loves me that don't even exist in the physical. But the love is tangible and I feel it in my overall development. If a man loves you, and you know he loves you, don't have sex with him. Talk about it. Work it out. Work through that lust. Journal through that lust. You know you sexy. You know you are tempting. You know you are desirable. You know a man craves you. And generally, if you haven't gotten to that level yet where a man can feel that way for you, then generally you have to tap in it within yourself. You need to find, and it's not an aesthetic. It's an inner journey to your Pambajita. It's an inner journey to your issue. And it's at a crossroad where you decide, what direction am I headed? Am I headed down the direction of wealth? Am I headed down the direction of fame? Because wealth and fame are not the same things. Most famous people are poor. Or am I going in the relationship of partnership? Or am I going to turn around and deal with myself and go back home, change clothes, take a shower, work out, study, because maybe hopping into these spiritual streets, come on, I gotta go back, because sometimes shit makes sense to me and I didn't even know it was about to make this much sense to me. I'm a street nigga in the aspect that I jumped off the porch. See, before I jumped off the porch, I was a straight A student. You can tell, right? I was a straight A student. I was a good boy in school. I was the one that you wanted on your team. And I didn't play sports. I was on the National Academic League. Like, I went to a hood school. And I got us in the fucking National Academic League playoffs. I almost made it to TV. But I would have been nice. But I dropped out of high school in the 10th grade. Because I jumped off the porch. But jumping off the porch is the same as jumping out of society into these spiritual waters, right? So once you jump off the porch, you got your drug dealers, you got your robbers, you got your niggas that do B&Es, right? You got your pimps, you got your hoes, you got your stick-up girls, you got your gangster girls, girls that are rob a nigga. You understand? You got a whole bunch of different players, right? And the thing about street niggas is that it's integrity and it's honor, but then again it ain't. Cause if a nigga catch you slipping, a nigga might get you, and you just gotta be like, damn, I'm got. But generally, who you are, like, trust me, I've been in the streets for a long, long time, and I'm still here because I always been me. You feel me? Like, what I'm saying is, I was in the streets, I was doing street shit, but I wasn't a do dirty nigga, right? I had a goal, I had rules, I had parameters. I wasn't about to play you. I was gonna weigh the shit off. If you told me it weighed different, I'd throw my scale away, buy a new scale, calibrate my scale. You understand? Like, I had ethics, I had business. So when you spiritual, when you jump into the spiritual, you gotta have that same shit going on for real, for real. What am I referencing? A lot of people be shooting from the hip. A lot of people be clicking up with people who like, just imagine how crazy it can be in the streets. That's how crazy it is in the spiritual shit. So, Mercury retrograding, issue is upon the earth. Issue has two sides. It has a light side, a solar energy, and it also has a lunar energy. The lunar energy is more of the issue, balance. See, the solar issue is either an old nigga or a little baby, and it's never going to give you a straight answer. Last night, the dark skin issue, the issue that people don't really want to, that I can't reference his name. All you got to know is Mercury is retrograde, and you can tap in and get a concept of the trickster figure. But that's like opening the door. Now we in the house. So you ever looked outside a crib and then walked in that bitch like, oh shit, this shit way different than what it looked like on the outside, right? That's what it's like with issue. Now, I reference issue because issue is the opener of the way. So, I know you think that you advanced and you got shit figured out, but sometimes you can go in the wrong direction. You can make a spiritual mistake, and your GPS is like, it especially if you got people co-signing this shit. It's a bunch of lies in the spiritual community. I be nice and I be cool about it, but people be lying about astrology. People be saying that the new moon is Aquarius, but it ain't. People be saying that a tarot card mean this, but it don't. You know what I mean? Like, it's a lot of shit that just don't be real. It be lies. But I've been in it so long, it's like, I jumped off the porch. So I've been off the porch, right? I'm a nigga that's off the porch, right? Jumped off the porch. Been knee deep in the streets. I'm still here. And you just jumped off the porch. And I'm like, don't fuck, dog. That ain't the right way, bro. But I remember jumping off the porch and OG's telling me, fam, you moving real crazy. But me feeling like shit. I'm a young nigga. I'm hot. Dang, all right. Get knocked, all right? Sit it down. You know what I'm saying? Sit it down. Think about it for a little bit. So what is that in a spiritual sense? Yo, depression, right? That's like Saturn, right? Sit it down. High horse. Stop imagining what you want. That might be not what you need. You need to go in the right direction. So now, if you can resonate with anything that I said up to this point, I'm going to bring you into the present and allow you to tap into your imagination or to your third eye or to your point of visualization and bring yourself to the crossroads with Ishu, EXU. He a big buff diesel dude. He is the perfect man, right? The perfect black man, spiritual energy. If you can't see him, it's up and it's stuck with your ass, right? It's up and it's stuck with your ass. I don't want to talk to you. Get off my feed. But you visualize the most perfect black man that you can muster. You visualize him. You hold him in your third eye. You come to the crossroads. Okay? It's 4 crossroads. It's money, which is a means to an end. You can't take this shit with you. It's fame. And fame just means you controlled by entities. And if they want to kill you, they can. They own your likeness. It's generally you selling your soul. You can go that route. People have went that route. You can go back home and say, I ain't ready for these spiritual streets. I ain't know it was like that. I'm going to go back to my call center. I'm going to go back to my boyfriend. I'm going to go back to my friends. We going to go watch the movies and have date night, drink fucking sodas. I'm going to have a fucking barbecue. I ain't trying to be vegan, my nigga. Fuck this shit. I'm going back home, right? Take your ass back home. Or you can go straight towards partnership. And when you take this destination, this direction, you will be assisted in what you need to become a better partner, a more desirable partner, a more intuitive partner, a more understanding partner, a compassionate partner, a perfect partner. You will be building the roadblocks to perfect partnership. You will love yourself. You will love your partner. You will learn exchange. People will fucking envy you. People will hate you. People will misunderstand you. But you will be resting in your primal, elemental love energy. Some of you have come into this spiritual and y'all want everything. Y'all want to go in every direction. Please show me in human conceptualization what the fuck that looks like, right? It looks like a motherfucker running around in circles, going up and down, left and right, like going literally crazy. So generally, when you reference your inability to move and combining with your emotional frequency, because you want to get money, you want to be famous, you want to figure yourself out, you want to build your relationships, you want to do all of these things. That's confusing to the space. You can only do one thing. You can literally go in one direction when you're on the GPS of life. You can have multiple stops, but you can only go at one stop at a time. And I'm the person that's going to say that no, don't try to do it all. Focus on your relationships. Build your partnerships. Understand who you are. Understand what you bring out of a man. And don't exploit that to your benefit. Demand exchange. Find value. Deal with people that you deem to be valuable, that make you want to give something to them. Because when you are in a space where you are in your 7th house, your homeostasis is balanced. Not like prostitution is going to literally throw you off, because it's going to, like, you putting yourself in a space of dealing with strangers. So it, like, I don't know, I'm not referencing that level of exchange. You deal with your soul, but you also are in a preparation for partnerships. You plan for partnerships. How do you do that? You understand who and what you value wants. Because if the Louis bag want $1,500 for it, you don't then say, "Oh, fuck that Louis bag. It don't deserve me." You save up for it. So you may have an object of desire in your mind that you want to give to, but you don't necessarily know what it takes. You might not even have what it takes. You owe it to yourself to see, what do I need to do to be with a guy like you? And if you outside of your emotions long enough, you might get some valuable information. And it might not be that specific person, but it will be in relationship to that type of person. And you don't have to worry about him. You then worry about the things that you are doing that are putting you to that level. And if this seems too hard or too difficult, then this is going to trigger you. And this is going to make you feel that, well, I don't have to do that. Then you either have a wonderful and perfect relationship and you right, or I'm just presenting challenging information that is by something that's not agreeable to you. You don't like it. But when it comes to the things that have benefited me the most in this actual journey, it was the things that I didn't agree with. It was the things that I didn't like. As I've gotten older, as I've gotten wiser, as I've gotten more mature, those were the exact things down to a fucking T that I should have been focusing on years ago, and I would have been way better. See, when I let things bother me, that's an indication that I need to really work on that shit. If things are triggering me, that's an indication that that's resonating with me. That's true for me. And if I don't like that, I actually got to begin to do that work. A lot of times when I talk, people get upset. And I always be wondering what that's about. But I'm realizing that I'm suppressing that aspect of me. I'm not saying everything, especially like in my relationships. I'm saying what the people in my life want to hear, and I'm not being authentic because I don't want to feel that anger. But then when I examine that anger, I see that anger being a barrier to my happiness. And then I come to the conclusion, do I want to make people happy, or do I want to make myself happy? And the older I get, as these days go by, I'm coming to the conclusion that at least I owe it to myself to figure out why it is these things are on my heart to say, or why do I feel this way? So I begin to have more and more conversations. And generally what happens, guys, is that I exit these negative feelings out of my being. And what's the next step after this? I begin to adorn my partner with some of the most wonderful affirmations that I couldn't even come up with myself. They would have had to be from source. So what am I saying? I've created the space by venting my feelings that I would have rather suppressed. Now I have this empty space. And with this empty space, at the core of it is love. And once I flick the switch to love, I'm getting all of these channels and affirmations and intuitions and intentions that are to be shared between me and my wife. That if we wasn't ever going to get through the bullshit, like see if I don't have a conversation about the bullshit that's going on within me, then I keep that emotional barrier between me and my happiness. Once I speak through it, it's like a water vapor that just disappears. Whoosh. And since my heart is really pure, and since I know that it's love there, part of love is remembering. Part of love is recalling. Purpose. But this is the direction that I'm on. Sometimes people can get bored with that direction. Sometimes people don't even understand that that's even the direction that they need to go in. Sometimes you can be in a relationship. Scratch that. Sometimes you can be in a partnership and your partner is not even in that partnership with you. They're trying to get money. They're trying to get fame. They're trying to find themselves. And you're like, hey, I'm here with this shit. Right? So now we get to a point that, okay, how do we bring each other back? Well, one, you don't. Two, you understand your direction. See, what tends to happen when you have the direction of partnership, this is what this looks like. Y'all ever seen a situation where a guy is cheating on his wife, or a wife is cheating on her husband? And then you be like, well, why you do that? Why you cheating? Because I wanted love and I wasn't getting it in my relationship, so I got it elsewhere. Because whoever that person that's cheating is still on the path of partnership. Now, this is issue. So issue say, I know you gonna reference your morality, but y'all talk about morality, then y'all watch gangbang porn. So how do that work? This is what Ishu's saying, so you take it up with him. Obviously, y'all watching gangbang porn and ain't telling me. We as a people are demoralized, destabilized, and disorganized. And we can't even hold space without pulling our dicks out or pulling our panties down. Once again, not my words. Because I personally have not shown my little Peter to nobody, unless her name is Chauncey. I've been good on that. Because morals in business are really kind of how you stay outside of extortion. Nobody can take advantage of you when you got morals. It's only when you view the flesh as being weak, because you completely invested in the flesh and not really invested in your non-physical beingness, to which the downloads and the channels and the spiritual guide and the wisdom that comes from your spiritual beingness is being cut off and shut off. It's being like a wrench that's tight. So if that wrench is tight, it's blocking off spiritual transformation. And then only thing that exists is the physical. So which you get thirsty for and lustful for and ride the waves of physical. And it's just so draining and so toxic and so taxing. And it's nothing that's really going to work or satisfy you. And you're so mad and so angry and can't nobody touch you or get close to you. And it's just so much pressure. And there's nothing that you can do, and then you start to loosen that screw. then you allow your soul energy to kind of take over your ignorance and illusion. And you can utilize this Mercury retrograde to really refocus and recenter on the most important part of life. Because a man and a woman that cheats, they are experiencing a pleasurable experience. Yeah, it's not the most moralistic experience, but it feels good to feel good. They like, damn, Hood, you about to cheat or something. I'm good. I'm tapped in and turned in and tuned in to all different types of frequencies. Don't worry about specifically me. I'm perfectly perfect at this particular point in time. In this moment, I can't ask for or wish for more. Because I know my direction is partnership. I know that's the path that I'm taking. That's what I'm committing myself to. And not partnership with just one person. I'm a divine masculine energy. I won't deny myself positive vibrations. That's for y'all to do. I'm going to come down here. I'm going to enjoy myself. I'm going to enjoy my partnerships. I'm going to learn. I'm going to grow. I'm going to continue to grow. I'm going to learn some more. Probably grow a little bit more. Because I understand the growth is coming from within, and the growth is a clear, direct channel of love in relationships or partnerships. And what I'm hearing is that people feel the same way that I do. They just not able to come to that conclusion. They not able to admit that. So the effort and intention and extra mile workings that is going to take to build relationships, they not there yet. Because they imagine that a relationship is going to be a loss and getting money is going to be a gain. They imagine that relationship is going to be a loss and getting fame is a gain. Fame, Instagram success, YouTube success, that type, TikTok success, Facebook success, that type of shit. They give you all of these pathways, and you can take all of these pathways. But ultimately, you got to figure out what's satisfying you, what brings you the most satisfaction. Some of y'all ain't ready for these spiritual streets either. You need to do more book study. You need to go do more nature work. You need to get more in tune with your soul. Because some of y'all are more in tune with these Orishas. I'm not referencing the Orisha issue. I'm referencing the Kambandan pantheon in reference to Ishu and Pambajira. That is EXU. E or Y, depending on your dialect. Pamba, P-O, M as in Mary, B as in boy, A, G as in girl, I-R-A. The divine masculine and the divine feminine. This is the energy that courses through my veins. It has been passed on from mother to child, from father to son, from mother to child, from father to son, from mother to child, from father to son, from generations. When you tune into your blood, you are aware of all of your ancestors. All of your ancestors live within you through the blood. That's why the menstruation is the most powerful substance on the planet. It has all of the information of the ancestors. But the blood that courses through your veins is the same blood as your ancestors. But when you tune outside of yourself, you are tuning in to an entity that is not going to service you. However, when you tune to yourself, it's the same thing, but it's different. You got to really listen to the difference. When you tune into yourself, you then want to share all that spirit has for you. You can't sit with what spirit has for you and say, let me build a fucking castle. Because generally, then you create a prison. So, it's two different types of relationships, and hopefully you can see the difference. It's the relationship that's going to benefit you, that's going to save you, or it's the relationship that you want to give to. I know you may think that, hey, I just need to find the right guy. I just need to find the right girl. I know you think that. But that's an ideology. Your biology is already, for one, already shown you. But your ideology have pulled you away. Because there is a deeper seed or weed in our minds that tell us that we can do it by ourselves. We can do it by ourselves. We can raise children by ourselves. We can make money by ourselves. And albeit we might possibly can. But as a person who goes through that thing and sees that thing and witnesses that thing, it shouldn't necessarily be like that. We shouldn't actually have that message. We should actually say, you know what? We need to learn how to be more cooperative. We should figure out how to work this shit out. How do you work this thing out? How do we maximize and understand our relationships? We understand all of our relationships through love, not lust. Because if we can find love, we can find that which we give. And it feels good to give. And the thing about receiving is it becomes an indirect process of your intention. This is why when you intend things, you don't necessarily get what you want. You might even get the opposite of what you want, because we live in an upside down world. So we are activating our third eye, and we're activating our pituitary, which deals with the occipitals, which deals with our vision. Because what makes people so confused about the spiritual is that when we look at the world, it's really upside down. Scientists will agree with what I'm saying. Just Google it. And then in our mind, we flip it to make it look upright. So if everybody is looking at the world upright, when you activate it, you then see the world being upside down. Then you can actually see the shit for what it is. When you have a calcified or unactivated pineal gland, it's always going to show you the world upright. Meaning that if you're going in the wrong direction, you're not going to know. That's why people can unconsciously eat a fucking beef sandwich and then say, I want to be healthy. Ask a person who's eating a beef sandwich right now, do you want to be healthy? They'll say, yeah, I want to be healthy. Of course. Can I get another serving of that burger? Off the grill. So, when we get into seeing things correctly, it is imperative It's important. It's probably the most important thing that I could ever say or ever get across. But it's the most powerless thing because I can't do it for you. To activate your third eye, to activate your crown, is the ability to be able to perceive spiritual understandings. To be able to channel divine truth and be able to articulate it. As it to be an easy, normal, regular practice. But that's going to be hard if that fucking wrench is tied tight in relation to your crown chakra, in relation to your pituitary and your pineal gland. When these things are shut, you are defenseless, to which your natural, instinctual understanding is fear. And I promise you, the life coaches, the amount of money that you're going to have to pay for a life coach to undo your fear and tune it into love is probably going to be way much more than you ever going to make in this lifetime. They going to tax your ass. It's going to take fucking hypnosis sessions, fucking EFT tapping, fucking divination, fucking ayahuasca trips, DMT trips, shroom trips, you feel me? Rapé, motherfucker. They're gonna have to do a whole fucking spiritual seance on your ass just to get you into the space of love. And for $23, I'm offering you a space for you to tap into the love that your soul has for you that would allow you to get onto the path of relationships, because that is the fundamental path of humanity. Your ideologies say that it's something else that brings about value, but when you deal with 10 to 15 years down the line of what you find externally to be valuable, is it done lost its luster. Of course, at an initial point, yay, I got my degree. Yay, I got my job. Yay, I met partner. Meet them 10 to 15 years down the line. They like, man, I hate this shit. I wish I'd have never done this shit. I should have just flipped fries at Burger King. I would have been happier. Because what we think is based upon an upside down image. What we know is based upon the gnosis that comes from our divine spark. But until we uncover that divine spark, it's going to be hard. We're referencing Shakti. Shakti is the sleeping serpent energy at the base of the spine. It's there, but it's sleeping. The effort and the amount of energy that it takes to maintain and build and generate and build and generate the energy and electric bodies and the muscle memory to maintain Kundalini is something that's going to actually take your whole lifetime to master. But if you're not aware of it, this is a perfect time to sign up. The link is in my description, or the link is in my bio. Crown Chakra activation is going to be going down February 20th. If you enjoyed this conversation that we've had this morning, it's because I've had a clear and direct channel with my soul. And it's because I've been knee deep into the activation of my crown chakra. What I plan to do and what I've been doing for these past 7 to 8 months is demonstrating what it looks like and what it feels like to invest your time and energy to activating one chakra at a time, 1 month at a time. And this is the encapsulating unfoldment of it all. I've never felt more beautiful. I've never felt more clear. I've never felt more in tune. I've never felt more happier. I've never felt more activated. I've never felt more eager to share who I am and where I've come from than I have felt in this moment. And every subsequent moment, I'm making the choice to be clear. I'm making the choice to love so I can produce those hormones at a perpetual, infinite, and normal rate. because that is the true transformation, how I feel. And generally as a man, right, to bring it on home, as a man, my men out there, we submit and suppress how we feel for the sake of our relationships. But we can only lie to the people around us for so long, to our soul or our issue. Oh, this Mercury retrograde will come closer and press us on our truth. So if you're able to acknowledge and speak to and love and cherish your truth, yeah, your wife's gonna be pissed off. The women in your life might not like your truth. It might just come, whoa, where is this coming from, Pops? Damn. Just out of nowhere, huh? You just gonna tell me how you feel. Well, you do pay rent. Yeah, you do sacrifice a lot of your time and energy for the betterment, for my safety, for my sanctity. You do deserve more than what we're giving you. And maybe they don't come to that conclusion. Be patient. Patience is your friend on the spiritual journey. Don't just jump off in the porch into these mean, wild spiritual streets because you done found the cool follow on Instagram that's dropping dope shit. Cause I'm a tell you, spirits are real. Unevolved entities are real. And their ability to hack into your mind, to distort and to disturb and to just fuck up your message is real. Because your path is a personal path. And some people have close and deep relationships with spirits. What does that look like? Masturbation, fam. Dildo copping. Fleshlight buying. Right? Jerk off crazy. Because you got a spiritual relationship with an unevolved energy. I'm trying to have real, physical, tangible relationships with goddesses. I ain't trying to hook up with Angela tonight. You understand me? We've normalized masturbation as love, but we talking about love, not lust. You can't fucking start a fucking LLC with your fucking hand or your dildo. Talking about, I want y'all to meet my new boyfriend. His name Rabbit. Rabbit, say hi. I would hope for all of us to be honest, to be open, and to be communicative about our primal desires. And being able to communicate what your soul tells you will allow you to move closer to your destiny. Your destiny is not found in a relationship. Your destiny is found in your ability to find homeostasis, find balance. But that balance ultimately leads into growth and expansion. And ultimately home. And ultimately expansion even further. And then ultimately complete comfort, complete awareness, complete exaltation. To be a world builder, to be a human, to master humanity, and to ascend into divine partnership in the afterlife. To be king and queen of heaven in the underworld. See, the relationship should be beyond earth. See, You like a person for 2 days, 2 weeks, 2 months. I'm gonna like you for eternity. That's different. That's different. But this is a conversation that I'm able to express. A lot of people not able to express. I want to be in a relationship. I'm preparing and planning and living my life as to attract a divine partner. I'm intuitive to see, to seek, and to initiate, and to exchange, and to grow through that exchange with my divine masculine, with my divine feminine. See, these are just words, but words have power. The same words that have power is, ain't no niggas out here. I ain't gonna never find a man like this. All these men are trash. That has power. That has power. I'ma just get me a dildo and say, fuck it. Power statements. These niggas ain't hitting on shit. Power. Power. How do I know that's powerful? Because I literally see that shit. I see that shit manifest. I see it manifest. But let me get off this live. It's 8:23, so I'm gonna get off this live. I got work to do. This is about to be a busy day for me anyway. So hopefully you got something from this, and maybe you didn't. Who knows? But tap into this. I'm gonna post this. Tap into this and utilize this Mercury retrograde energy to figure out what path you gonna go. Issue presents us with path. We can go down the money path, we can go down the fame path, we can go down the partnership path, or we can take our ass back home. We can get back off these spiritual streets. Okay? So you decide what you want to do. Peace.